Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ann Emanuel. Thanks for joining us. Some area fire departments are finding themselves shorthanded and looking for volunteers. Our Sonia Ellison tells us about the needs, how they're updating training, and how you could be the one to help someone on one of their worst days.
The Corning Joint Fire District covers 37 square miles, which includes North, South, and East Corning. It's run by volunteers.
People are indoors, you've got Christmas trees, you've got chimneys, wood stoves, that sort of thing. So it's a busy season.
Fire departments across the Twin Tiers like Horsehead, Sayre, and Bath are also reporting shortages of volunteers.
We've tried to address that by focusing only on mission-critical training. The days of cooking chickens and bingo are gone.
Dave Schaefer is CJFD's chairman for the Board of Fire Commissioners. They've responded to 500 calls last year. CJFD is currently made up of 50 volunteers across the district.
Which seems like a lot, but on any given day, firefighters come from all walks of life, and you don't exactly know who's available.
If no firefighters are available, they get help from nearby departments like Gang Mills, Painted Post, Hornby, Caton, or City of Corning as part of mutual aid agreements. They began the Firefighter Experience Camp 3 years ago, a hands-on 3-day summer event that trains students aged 14 to 18.
Test fires and putting out fires with fire extinguishers and running hose lines and that sort of thing within the first couple of hours they're there.
Those aged 16 can become members with parental authorization. Students can also gain college credit for their hours.
We are working to make sure that we can get college credit applied to the firefighter courses that people take in the EMS courses so they can use that towards a degree program.
This year, they've started the state-sanctioned service award program where qualifying members can get $1,000 deposited into a retirement plan. Interested in volunteering? Email Dave at chairman@corningjfd.org.
Be careful out there, and if you need us, call us.
Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News, Corning.
The Twin Tiers will see ice and snow this weekend. The NWS issued a hazardous weather outlook for the region, with most snow likely Saturday night through Sunday. It's advised to stay off the roads as much as possible as travel will be difficult. Steuben County Public Works maintains 683 miles of county roads and is the county with the most bridges at 331 total. Their barns are fully filled with salt and sand as they prepare to help keep travel and the public safe. We'll have more details on what to expect in your complete forecast in a few minutes. Bradford Central School District English teacher Richard Lisi is nominated for the Bram Stoker Best First Novel Award for his book Being Dead, published in September. The award is considered for any horror work first published in English. The novel is about a 9-year-old boy who survives the death of his twin sister, who later appears to him as a ghost. It was published by Brigid's Gate Press and available in local libraries. At least 24 people are injured after a train derailment in New York. It happened near 96th Street on a northbound 1 train in Manhattan Thursday. Initial reports say the passenger train derailed after colliding with a work train. The incident causing major delays and even cancellations to trains running between Manhattan and the Bronx. The train had about 300 people on board at the time of the incident. The MTA was able to clear most of the train cars overnight, but one that was off the rails was more difficult to move. Extra buses were put into service in the area to help make up for the lost train service. We are learning more about a school shooting in Iowa on Thursday. Police say a 6th grader was killed and 5 other people were injured before the teenage gunman took his own life. The shooting happened in the town of Perry, that's about 40 minutes outside of Des Moines. Police arrived within 7 minutes of the call and say they soon determined the 17-year-old shooter had turned the gun on himself. The 5 people who were injured include 4 students and the school's principal. They were all hospitalized but are all expected to survive. With record numbers coming across the border, Republicans and Democrats are pointing the blame at each other, with neither party wanting to take responsibility for the crisis. Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
New video from the Mexico border in Arizona shows a steady flow of migrants illegally entering the U.S. through a gap in the border wall. Last month, Border Patrol reported a record number of migrant encounters, but the White House denies Biden's policies are to blame.
You don't take as an administration or as the head of this department any blame for what we're seeing on the border currently?
Brett, the numbers are historic. The numbers are extraordinarily large. This is something that is not specific to the United States' southern border.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas also says it's up to Congress to fix the problem.
Republicans are having to drag Democrats screaming to this deal.
The talks between the White House and the Senate over a solution to the border crisis have dragged on for weeks, and it's unclear when new legislation will come to the floor. On the House side, some Republicans want Mayorkas out, and they're moving forward with an impeachment hearing next week. But others are skeptical.
I think the Americans demand we hold people accountable. But going down the impeachment route, how does that help us secure the border?
In the meantime, Texas continues to send migrants to cities like Denver, now struggling to handle the influx of new arrivals.
So we're talking to the White House. We've told them we need more federal aid.
The White House also says Republicans are standing in the way to fix the border problem because they have not approved President Biden's $13 billion request for more border-related employees. But Republicans want immigration laws strengthened before approving any funding. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrives in Istanbul, where he will meet with other diplomats with an aim to keep the Israel-Hamas war from escalating into a broader conflict. This is Secretary Blinken's fourth visit to the region in 3 months. Blinken is expected to travel to several nations, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, and go to the West Bank. Hiring picked up last month. The Labor Department says there were 216,000 jobs created last month, more than expected. The unemployment rate held steady at 3.7%. The forecast was for 170,000 new jobs, with the unemployment rate slightly higher at 3.8%. The Federal Reserve has been attempting to engineer a cooler economy and job market without a recession. In other words, a soft landing. Job gains were mostly concentrated in a handful of sectors last month, with the biggest gains in government, leisure and hospitality, and healthcare. Hiring in construction also trended upward. Those gains helped to offset job losses in transportation and warehousing, the result of a steep drop in the number of couriers and messengers. Your weekend forecast is still to come. Plus,
former Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius released from prison less than a decade after being convicted of killing his girlfriend. I'm Greg Palka in London. That's my story coming up.
Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. I hope you enjoyed your Friday as it was the calm before the storm. And we keep that calm overnight, even under clear skies and calm winds with a low of about 22 degrees. But we will watch as we head into our Saturday. This next system push its way in, which is going to be really the first notable winter storm of the season, where we'll look at a high to reach about 36 degrees, and then those snow showers will overspread the area by the afternoon. Much of our local area falls underneath a winter weather advisory, and then just off to our east, there is that winter storm warning. What we see with this system is that it's looking to arrive as we head into the afternoon, looking at around the Elmira Corning area and along I-86 by about 2 o'clock, and then through the thruway by about 4 o'clock, which will then persist us with some snow showers into our Sunday. Our biggest impacts with this system is the quick accumulation that we'll have at onset, allowing for some slow and slippery travel, and then really just dealing with the snowfall into our Sunday, where accumulations are looking to be about 4 to 6 inches, up to about 8 inches closer to I-81. So looking at a very typical storm event, snowstorm event that we see for this area, as we will watch that those snow showers will quickly accumulate there as we head from 2 o'clock through 4 o'clock across the entire area. Some higher snowfall rates there closer to that I-81 corridor and to the east, as that's where the winter storm warning is in place. So that's something to watch. There seems to be a little bit of a dry slot into midnight Sunday morning into about mid-morning Sunday. That could allow for those snow showers to come to an end before bringing some light accumulation throughout the daytime on Sunday, where, as mentioned, that range will be about 4 to 6 inches, and then you see some of those higher amounts getting closer to 8 inches the closer you get to Binghamton and areas of that I-81 corridor. So, as mentioned, very typical snow event. Biggest concern is just the accumulating snow that we'll have to pick up. There's going to be bigger impacts with our next storm. So, as we head into our Sunday, enjoy a snow day as those snow showers are going to overspread 2 to 4 o'clock. Temperatures sitting just around 36. Might be a little wet and slushy at onset with temperatures being just around that freezing mark, but will stay mostly snow showers as we'll have a low just dropping down into those mid to upper 20s. And a Sunday afternoon with those flurries, might see a little bit of a drizzle as there's a little bump up in those temperatures, but shouldn't cause for any big impacts. Now, Monday is going to be our quiet day, and that's the day that pickup is going to be done. However, what we're going to be watching is that our Tuesday, Wednesday system is going to come with several impacts. One of those impacts is going to be damaging wind concerns, but those winds are coming out of the south, which is bringing warm air. We even bump up to a high 50 degrees on Tuesday. One, that's going to melt snow. Two, that's going to bring a rich profile to the area and keep the system mostly rainfall, which that rain, if the temperatures haven't already, will melt that snow. So that's adding lots of moisture, giving us flooding concerns, and we could end off a little wintry with another storm that we're tracking by the end of the week.